Okay. So I'm going to be walking you through this session today. To reiterate, we're asking people to try to use a website that we're working on to see whether it works as we intended. This session should take about 30 minutes to an hour. So the first thing I want to be clear about is that we're testing the website, not you. You can't do anything wrong here, so please don't be scared that you're hurting our feelings. We're doing this, or my feelings, we're doing this to improve the site, so we want to hear your honest reactions. As you use the site, I'm going to ask you to think out loud as much as possible. Say what you're looking at, what you're trying to do, and what you're thinking. And if you have any questions as we go along, just ask them. I may not be able to answer them right away since we're interested in how people would do when they don't have someone sitting next to them to help them navigate the website. But if you still have any questions when we're done, I'll try to answer them then. And if you need to take a break at any point, just let me know. So with your permission, we're going to record what happens on the screen in our conversation. The recordings are only going to be used to improve the site and won't be viewed by anyone who isn't working on the project. I just need a verbal agreement that you are aware that this is being recorded and you give us your permission to do so.
Yes, you have my permission.
Okay, so before we start working with looking at the site, I'm going to ask a few questions.
Okay, that's good.
What's your name?
Alexandra Blair.
Are you a college student or a recent graduate?
Recent graduate.
What school did you go to?
Vanderbilt for undergrad and grad school.
What is or was your major?
Healthcare.
How many hours a week do you think you spend on the internet? An estimate.
I would probably say like 5 a day. So minus Saturday, so 5 times 6, like 30.
Okay, and do you have any favorite websites?
Yes. I love Facebook. And I like CNN News.
Okay. So I'm going to send you a link right now on this chat on the conference call. Click it, and then when you look at this page, tell me what you make of it. What strikes you about it? Whose site do you think it is? What do you think you could do here? And what do you think the site's for? Look around and give me your narrative. And you can scroll if you want, but don't click on anything yet.
Well, initially I am struck by the color. I really like the gradient. I think it's really aesthetically pleasing. I like the bubbles. That's pretty clear. Like I have a clear understanding of kind of what each bubble represents, like the textbook, the computer, and then the question site. I like that the search feature is front and center, because I think sometimes that gets lost in websites. So I definitely like that aspect of it. It takes out kind of the initial mystery of like, what am I doing here? Oh, I really like the content from your favorite website. That's pretty clear to read. It scrolls nicely for sure. Everything is evenly spaced. Like there's not too much on the website, but it's not a lot of empty space. Oh, I like the tagline too at the top.
Okay, will you hold on 1 second? Sorry, I'm getting kicked out of your room. Wait, keep sharing your screen though.
Okay.
Where you went to college? Yeah.
Okay, you can continue now. Alexi.
Do you want me to say that again, or did you get that?
I got that. It's still recording, so just keep looking at the website and letting me know what you're looking at, what you're thinking of it. Not only in terms of design, but actual functionality.
Should I start clicking on things or not yet?
Not yet.
Well, I would say probably my favorite part, initial thing, is the color and the design of it. Um, that's a huge thing. Oh, I like that the mobile app is kind of right at the top and key features and Spitball guide. I wish up top there was like an about section or kind of like who we are. So maybe that would be a recommendation. Um, I
Okay,
I like,
you can keep going, but you seemed like you had nothing.
yeah, I think that's what I've got.
Okay, so do you think you understand what the site is about? And if so, could you give me a little summary?
Yeah, I think that the website definitely clearly describes what the website would be. I would say it's geared towards college students.
Why do you say
And
it's geared towards college students?
just because I'm familiar with Quizlet and Chegg, and those are predominantly college student websites, I think. And it says like 50% on major textbooks. I don't know, that's just kind of the initial opinion that I got. So if it is geared towards high school, maybe make that a little clearer. But I would say that it's a site to help with homework and study guides for students and study documents that are designed by school and by class. You can personalize it a little bit. And I also just saw that there's other features, including flashcards and asking a tutor's help. So the website definitely clearly exemplifies that, which I think is great.
So if you were looking at this website, what would you want to be able to click on? And what would you expect to happen when you did click on that?
I would expect to click on these three bubbles right here, like right up top. The millions of documents, save 50% of textbook and homework help.
What would you expect to see when you clicked on each of them?
For millions of documents, I would like that to take me to a landing page where I can see like by subject topic, so like history, math, or by like specific classes or by school. So kind of like a depository of documents. But then you can like specialize it, like click more specific, 50% on textbooks. I would expect that to take me to like a different landing page that gives me like a coupon code or whatever that textbook service is. And then homework help, I would expect that to take me to a landing page where I can pick from different tutors or a little like box where you can submit an inquiry if you want to set up a time online or in person, but maybe a place where you can see the different tutors and like a picture of their face or something, or like what they specialize in. And I wouldn't expect to be able to click on these Quizlet Chegg things, definitely not. Study documents, kind of the same thing. Yeah, so I feel like these like enlarged bubbles down at the bottom maybe could link to the same thing that these three ones do. Like these three at the top seem like they're highlighting the most prominent features. And then down here, I would expect to be able to click and it would link me to the same thing in addition to other landing pages. For example, like the food one isn't up there. So that would be a new landing page. Same thing with flashcards. And oh, jobs, that's awesome. So I guess for the jobs, I would expect it to take me to a landing page that's kind of like an Indeed or a Job Monster, one of those where jobs are listed out. And you can like have a search bar where if you want to specialize like a pay range or a subject area, something like that.
Okay. Is there anything that you think isn't clear from what you're seeing? Any phrase, any like design, any?
Well, I mentioned it before, but I don't see an about section at the top, and I think that you could click on, so maybe that would be helpful. I know it's at the very bottom, but I think maybe that leaves a little too much mystery. And that's, I think, would be my main recommendation.
All right. What do you think about the text in the search bar? Do you think was that something you noticed at first? Was that, is that clear to you?
Yeah, I thought the search bar was one of the best features because sometimes the search bars can be hidden, and a lot of times people just want what they want. So to have a search bar is a really important thing. And I like that it has something kind of already filled in for you so you know what you can search. And it seems pretty comprehensive. Yeah, I think that is definitely a good feature.
Okay. So now what do you think would happen if you clicked on the search bar? Don't do it, but what do you think would happen?
I think that I would click and maybe there would be a drop down where like, of course I could type in something, but maybe like right when I just click it, there'd be a drop down for like suggestions of what I could type in. Or like a drop down of like, not even just type it in, but something you could go click to. So like these things that are listed out, like maybe be like suggested study documents, textbooks, food deals, jobs, that kind of thing.
So now you can, this is a mock-up website, so like obviously not everything is clickable, but
Yeah.
the search bar is clickable. So you can click on that and again, look around and talk out loud. Let me know what you think and what you're seeing and what stands out to you.
Oh, well, wow. That was exactly what I thought would be on there. That's really great. Oh, I like that they're specific and that they ask open-ended questions, but also specific questions, like the World War II one. Like, that's great. Yeah, these are really good suggestions.
And do you think you would be, whoa,
Oh, sorry.
I don't know what that is, don't click. Do you think you would be able to, like, looking at this, what do you think is clickable?
On this drop-down menu?
On anything.
Oh,
You haven't mentioned already.
On the whole site?
That you haven't mentioned already, like including the drop-down menu.
Oh, well, I would expect you to click on everything on this search drop-down menu. I would expect you to click on these three things at the top.
Yeah. Yeah,
I would.
That was kind of what I was asking. I was asking about the drop-down menu, but I didn't want to like lead you into there.
Oh yeah, and I would also expect to be able to click on this Spitball logo to take me like back to the home page.
Okay. Okay, so now scroll back up, and you can click on the class notes for my calculus class. It's a clickable question right there. And again, look around, talk out loud. Let me know what stands out to you, what you think you can do, what confuses you, etc.
I really like this orange bar at the top. I'm intrigued by it. I think that that's a good, really great feature, and it like really stood out to me. And I think that that's definitely a unique thing about the website. And I like that I guess one of my questions would be these things along the side here, would those be specific to this question? Or like if I clicked flashcards, would it take me just like a general flashcard site, or would it take me to calculus class flashcard site?
What would you want to see?
And
let's say you did click on flashcards from here. What would you hope to see?
I would hope to see initially flashcards that were related to calculus. If I have this question in mind, I think that if they're tailored, that would be really cool. I like the setup of how these documents are presented. It's really clear. My question is sources. Would that be sources of where these came from, or resources? That's one question that I have, but I like that the My Courses page. That's cool.
What do you think would?
Oh, I love this. I love this part. That's really cool.
Okay. Is that something you think you would click on?
I would definitely click on that.
What do you think would happen if you clicked on My Courses?
I think it would take me to whatever courses that I've signed up for, that I'm taking right now, and that I've inputted into the Spitball website. So like, let's say I like made an account and said that I was taking calculus and World War II history. I would expect to be taken to a landing page for that. And I guess for sources, I would expect to be taken to like a list of like resources, like websites, but also maybe textbooks.
Okay. What do you think about the results you're actually seeing, like the actual documents you're previewing, and what do you think about the way they look and the amount of information you get?
Okay, let me just read a few of these blurbs quickly. I think the design of it is really great. I like that you can see a preview of the document. I like that the source comes up. I guess my one clarification would be in the titles of them. Like the first one is just calculus. Is that just a general overview of calculus? And then critical points. I like how these ones have a little more specific, so you know what you're getting into. And then this one, I mean, I'm not super familiar with calculus anymore, but this seems like a little cut off, this title. So maybe something that's like more short and sweet would be better. Kind of like the one below it. So maybe, yeah, I mean, most of them look great, but I would just say few. But I like the descriptions underneath. That's really helpful. And the pictures are great.
Okay. What do you think would happen if you clicked on settings? What would you see?
Oh, settings. Maybe settings could be, there'd be a few different options. Like you could go to something like my account, and then you can change like your password, your login, and your courses, that sort of thing. But then also settings could be, you could filter. So like, let's say you only want to get like from a certain level up. Like I know obviously there's different levels of calculus. So maybe you could set like the level that you're looking for, or like in biology, like which kind of biology you're taking. So maybe something along the lines in there. Yeah, I think that's what I would expect to see. Or like more specifics related to the classes you're taking.
What do you think would happen if you clicked into the search bar just at the top?
I think a drop down list would come up with more options. Maybe like, I'm not sure if maybe like related to calculus, but also some other ones as well.
If you wanted to do a totally new search, and you were on this page, what would you do?
I would click on the search bar.
So now that you've seen all of these pages, do you think you have an understanding of what the website is for? And if so, could you briefly explain it to me?
Definitely. I think that the website has been really clear and consistent in driving home kind of the main objective of providing students with study materials. So everything from study guides to different outside resource help, kind of like little calculus cheat sheets, World War II note cards, that sort of thing. So not only does it offer study guides, but it offers flashcard resources, textbook resources, tutors, and then other services include things like jobs and deals.
Okay. So how does this website make you feel?
It makes me feel like I missed school. I really like the organizational aspects of it. I think just in itself, the fact that it's organized by flashcards and study documents is helpful just for initial organization purposes, because sometimes when you're studying, you get overwhelmed. So I like that. It's kind of calming, and I think the colors, blue and orange, are really aesthetically pleasing and definitely are good for the mood. So yeah, I'd say it makes me miss school for sure.
Okay. So you can X out of the screen if you want, but I have a few more questions for you.
X out of the
You
spitball?
you can, or you don't have to. Yeah, spitball. So is this a service you see value in, or a website you see value in?
Definitely. I wish I had had it when I was a student, because it centralizes a lot of things that I would just search for on Google. It kind of puts them all in one place.
So why would you use this over Google?
because it provides kind of one platform, one location where you can access a bunch of different things related to the same topic. So like instead of searching in Google like tangential normal calculus lines, it provides a place where you can access all of that. And also I really like that it gives you suggestions. So for example, on this one site that this one page that I'm still looking at, it gave you like general overview of calculus topics, but then it gave you suggestions of things, like things that maybe like I didn't even know I needed to study, but it gave me the suggestion and it ended up being really helpful. So I like that it adds various topics in one place.
If this was your first time on this website, would you want to create a profile or add your email?
Yeah, I would.
Why?
Because I think it has a lot of different offerings. So I think the sticking point for me would be obviously, like, let's say I'm studying for a test and I want all these study documents and they've got the class that I have. That's really helpful. But then in addition, like beyond when that test is over, I could look for like next semester's textbooks, or, you know, if an internship is coming up, I could go to see that. And, you know, maybe they're doing like a freebie with food deals or something like that. Or like maybe they're coming on campus. So I think I like it because it extends beyond like just the initial test cramming. And I think a lot of competitor sites kind of just cater to that, just cramming for that one test you have coming up, rather than kind of offering other services that keep you around.
So do you think you'd use like multiple of the different services that Spitball offers?
Yeah, I think I would.
How do you feel about the fact that if you go back to the Spitball page, how do you feel that you see how the source, like let's say the top document, it says www.coursera.com. If you were to click on it, it would open a new tab in your browser and bring you to that page on Coursera. How do you feel about that?
Well, I like that it opens a new tab rather than just redirecting from the homepage. Because then obviously you lose like where you are in the place of like looking at topics. If I've been scrolling for a while, I just click somewhere else and I lose my place. So I like that aspect of it. And in terms of taking me to another site, I mean, I kind of feel indifferent about it. I don't necessarily think it's a bad thing. I think it's kind of useful that it's just like a compilation of many different sites to help you.
Would you use this on your phone ever?
I would definitely use it. I mean, I would consider using it on my phone if it was like really user friendly. But I would definitely use it more on my computer, just because I would do most of my studying on my computer. But it would be nice if like right before a test, because like I always would like quickly look over my notes. So it'd be nice to just have that on my phone, that feature. Like, you know, maybe you could like save documents, like your favorite documents on your profile, and just like quickly have access to those on your phone. So kind of like for last minute cramming, I think I would use that for, or like flashcards, I would use that for. But I would definitely say that I would do the bulk of my work on the computer.
So when you were to use it on your phone, would you prefer an app or would you like to use it in a browser?
I would say maybe an option for both. I just think a browser is a little easier. You know, it takes one step out of having to download an app. But I think once I like really got into using the website, that I would end up probably downloading the app, since it would become like a main part of the study tools. And then obviously an app is just easier to navigate.
So did you have any subscriptions to any school related services like Chegg, Study Blue, Quizlet, any of those?
Yeah, I did Chegg and Quizlet. And is Coursera one, or am I making Coursera? Yeah, and Coursera.
So
I paid for the one for Chegg.
Yeah. So if there were something that bundled a bunch of those services into one monthly payment, so let's say you pay $20 a month instead of $15 for Chegg and get Chegg, Study Blue, Coursera, and access to a bunch of them, is that something you would be interested in?
Yeah, definitely.
What price point do you think you'd be willing to pay? for something like that?
Well, if it included like a big selling point for me for those sites, like why I was willing to pay was because it offered like not only study questions, but the answers to those study questions. And a lot of times like those came from the exact textbooks that I was using. So like it gave me a lot of the answers to the textbooks and like spelled out questions, but also other practice questions. So I would probably pay between $15 and $20 a month.
Okay. So that was my last question. Thanks for helping out. If you have any other questions for me, let me know, or any last minute comments about the website.
I think it's great. I think it's really aesthetically pleasing and clear.
Awesome. All right, I'm gonna stop recording now.
Great, thanks.